Welcome back to the Titanium Hangout. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about FansToys Iceman, their take on Air Raid, and it's the FT-30B. Got a lot of things to say about this guy. I think he looks great. I thought he was going to be bland, but yeah, that's a lot of paint on this guy. We're going to get into it. Coming up, I got mine at Show Z, and I'll put a link down below where you could get yours. Alright, so here is the box. It says Iceman. This is a pretty big box. FT-30B. And it shows the plane on the top. Iceman on the side. So it's the typical FansToys type of packaging. Looks really good. Man, I love boxes. I'm a sucker for it. I love the artwork. So let's start out by looking at his jet mode. And I have to admit, it's a nice looking jet mode. Definitely looks like a G1 Air Raid. Love the color scheme, love the paint, looks great. Now let's take a closer look and see if you can see all that sparkle on that paint right there. That is just beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you can kind of tell there's a bot underneath, but it is a transformer, and that is the way it is. These guns clip in and just fine. It works good, it works well. QC30, pass, definitely a pass. No issues with mine yet so far. Knock on wood. All that shiny, reflective up top. Great looking mold, just looks beautiful. Clean from the back. So this starts to make me wonder of a Takara Seeker. So when we do that comparison, we can talk about that for a second. But definitely a good looking bot. We're going to get into a couple of comparisons with it. So here it is compared to the cartoon animation. So the cartoon animation looks good. This looks more real world and looks a little bit more like the G1 toy than the cartoon did. So I'm okay with that. I didn't have to have it hyper tune in this mode. And that's kind of something that goes back and forth. I think it's based on the character, but if you have a jet like this, you want it to look like this. Here it is next to the G1, and I want to throw a few things out, an homage to the G1 here with the wings. The paint matches the paint. Now that's paint, not a sticker, I believe. It's pretty worn G1. But it looks so much like the G1. So let's get a little bit better angle on that. So much like the G1. Side view, a lot like the G1. And then, yeah, super just like the G1. Great looking. So here he is next to a Takara. Now, I got the Sunstorm, whatever. Anyway, he is the one that I don't think Takara is going to remake. I don't think they'll make another yellow one for a long time. So that's the only Takara one I actually kept that I actually have of these Seekers like this. So anyway, there's the difference between them and how they look. They look like pretty much the same jet. They're both big. They're both pretty big. They're about the same size. And I do want to point out that it's thinner, like a thinner and sleeker on Takaras. This is a little bit more hefty. And there's the bottoms of them. But I feel like Takara's is a little cleaner, like less panel lines. But I do wonder if FansToys made a Seeker, would they be able to beat the 3.0 Takara? I don't know. That's a tough one. But you can open this cockpit. The cockpit opens. I put this gold figure that came with my G1 wheeljack. I don't really know what it goes with. Somebody told me what it went with and I forgot. But anyway, they both open up. Both of these have opening cockpits. This was a little harder to open than that one, but yeah, there it goes. And just like Top Gun, sports cars, motorcycles go really well with really fast jets, don't they? That's really a big figure. So let's get this guy transformed up, but the first thing you have to do is just go all around it and untab a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to start with just untabbing these because it seems the simplest way to go, removing the guns from underneath the wings and then untabbing these in the back just so nothing breaks, get it all out of the way. And I like to start with the legs, and so the best we can do here is start wiggling this and getting all these panels to start popping up. You gotta be careful with it, but you gotta get them to start popping up so you can get them all out of the way. Lift these pieces here up, and out of the way. And it's kind of strange, when you do this transformation, passing all of this through is a bit of a challenge. So we're gonna have to get this passed through here. Again, the other direction. So you want these to go down, below, and you can really only do one at a time. So let's lift this back piece up a bit. In fact, I think it's still kind of stuck in there. Let's get it at a bit of an angle. Yeah, it was actually easier going the other direction than it seems to be right now. That little tab was getting stuck there. Okay, so doing it on the other side, tuck it under. Don't let that tab get stuck on the wing. And there we go. There it goes. That is the hard part out of the way. So we kind of want to get these wings a little bit out of the way, and when you start working on all of this fun stuff here. So fold all this up, and let's get the legs done so that we can stand them up and have some more control over this guy. So we're going to flip this piece here down with that out of the way. And we're going to fold this up, and then we're going to get this out of here. And it's kind of a combiner wears it out, but mine is really tight. And I think it has to do with just all of the paint. So, but anyway, it's still tight. It's just strange. I can close up the landing gear right there, and then we're going to close this down like so. Fold open. Let's get her out of the back here. Fold this part here out, and we're going to tab it in. So it tabs in. It's got 3 tabs in here. So it tabs in here and there simultaneously. Kind of a bit of a challenge. Now, if you get yours in the mail, like right out of the box, you're gonna have to like straighten this up. So that's just part of it. That's just something that has to happen. So you're gonna fold this around and then tab it in to right there. And well, it's supposed to tab in. There we go. Now let's go ahead and make this foot. Which again, this is another thing that's easier going one direction than the other. And be careful not to scratch any of that paint off. And there goes a foot and a leg. And let's do the other side. Open this, fold this up, combiner wears it down, close that, close this, fold this piece on the swivel out, and then tab all of that into place all at the same time. Do all at the same time. Fold this up and over, tab it in, tab it in. There it is. And see, that's not want to stay tabbed in. I don't know why that doesn't want to stay tabbed in. Okay, on the other side, staying tabbed in a little bit better. Let's get this bottom of this foot without scratching any of the paint. Get that foot out there. And we have the legs, which is great. We need to bring this camera up so we can see what's going on up here. We're gonna turn this guy around and we're gonna take care of these back fins. So we're gonna flip this down, flip this around, and then fold the whole mechanism around. Now this piece here is kind of a double hinge on both sides, and it likes to come out. So you didn't break it if it comes. Well, this one just came out on me. You don't break it if it comes out. It's just kind of annoying, but it's better than having broke it, in my opinion. So okay, and then we're gonna fold it, this whole mechanism down. Do the same thing over here on this side. Fold this down. Fold that around. And then we have to fold this on the double mechanism. That one didn't fall off. And then tuck it down. There we go. Next up here, we can go ahead and close up the landing gear, and then we need to, I don't want to say break, make this come loose like so. Don't want to say break it loose, but make it come loose. All right, so we're going to need to have this upper mechanism go over the lower mechanism like this, and fold that little lever in. And then this little piece down here, come on, it's going to open up. We are going to tab this in. So it takes a little working to get it in there. There it goes. And we got those tabs into these slots. There it goes. And then we tab that. Now we've got to loosen those and slide them over. And we have the back that came undone. And we're going to lift this up and make it kind of flat to the shoulders. You can come up a little higher than that. There it goes. Level with the shoulders. Turn his head around, and then we got to get the arms out. Now, these pieces here hold the chest in place, and it's on each side. Let's back that up. We're going to need to fold these back. I forgot to do that. But you notice stuff like that. Fold it around on each side. That kind of sucked. There's a lot of little panely pieces. Funny that my son, I asked him which one he liked better, and he actually said the Takara because this one looks too panely. I told him he was wrong, so no, I was just kidding. I gotta get the backpack back in place. I can't believe I missed that little step there. Alright, let's get the arms out now. Open this. Open up this chest. Slide. So this is on slider. You're gonna slide it out, flip it around, slide it back in place. Same over here. Slide it out, flip it around, slide it back in place. Then I like to lift the arms up a bit to tab it all back in. Tabbed in, tabbed in. Now we gotta finish the arms. So we gotta do this. Pull out the arm. Tab that in place. Slide it down. Open up this flap, take the hand out, and then same on the other side. Go in a different, I guess you can just go in a different order if you want to. It's kind of fun to do the same thing multiple different ways. Fold this out. And you gotta find the elbow. Line up the hands. And the guns transform like this to the handle. And we're gonna peg him in and have a look at this guy. So here he is in robot mode, and he does look good. This is a nice looking figure. Looking at the paint that he has, it looks like all of this white is pretty much painted all over. That's a whole lot of white, and that's kind of one of my problems that I had looking at the pictures is all of this white and just thinking, wow, that's a lot of white. But it does have a bit of a glistening white to it. I don't know if a camera is picking all that up, but it glistens too. It's beautiful. Looks similar to sort of the pearlescent kind of, you know, we get with a couple of these other figures like Magic Square's white one and the FT-10X. So looking at this guy, let's get a look at that face of his. It's a nice looking face sculpt. You've got paint on the face, you got paint right here, and then this red is this beautiful looking red. I love it. Clear, transparent, That looks great right there too. Going on down, we have just some tiny bits of paint right there. Just, this thing is just beautiful all over. Looks nice, looks really nice. The thing about this guy here is from the back, he cleans up pretty well, and he has the signature jet on his back. The previous one didn't have a jet. Neither one of them really had this jet, and the way they did this, it looks closer to G1 accurate, in my opinion. And speaking of G1 accurate, let's go ahead and put up a still right next to it. Side by side, he does look pretty close to the tune. I like how he looks, and it matches it, but this looks, of course, a little more high-end and premium than the actual cartoon does. Here he is next to G1, and yeah, that is so much better than G1. But hey, this still is what I remember from back in the day, so it has some special meaning there. Here he is next to a still of the cartoon, and it looks good. You can see he's got his jetpack on there like he's supposed to, and this one has the better jetpack. And I think this does match the cartoon relatively well, but it does have that real world feel and that high quality feel to it. So let's start out with some comparisons here. So here he is next to Prime. He's a little bit shorter, not just Prime, which works for me. I like the taller bot. I think that it looks good that he's that height. And much taller than Hound, so just kind of there he is. That's how he scales, that's how he looks, and definitely looks super premium in there with these guys. Great looking figure. So here they are as a group. This is the FansToys Aerialbot team thus far, and I wanted to put them side by side and talk about a couple of things. And what I thought from looking at the pictures was that Goose over here was a better looking bot. I thought Goose was better painted, they did a better job with them, but when you look at them side by side, you see that they're both painted almost exactly the same. They're created in about the same manner, and it does look good. The white though, just so much white, makes it look kind of plain, and so for that, Goose still has a more interesting look because he has a more interesting color scheme. So looking at him from the back, from behind, you have more of the signature jet. Like this looks more like what I view as an aerial bot. Now aerial bots are my favorite combiner team, so this means a whole lot more to me. And yes, the transformation is a little bit suckier than Goose's transformation, although half of it's similar and half of it's different. But when you look at it, this is a mess. That isn't really what we think of when we think of an aerial bot. So this, I'm guessing that we're going to get another figure out that's going to have the similar type of setup. So we'll have two that have the jet right, and probably two with this type of engineering, is my guess. So this has been the FansToys Iceman, and I have to admit that I'm pleasantly surprised. I just thought from the pictures it was very plain looking. I didn't think it was going to have a premium look to it. It just looked too simple. And in hand, the white paint is beautiful. Every aspect of this figure is beautiful, and it really harkens back to G1 with a premium feel and a premium look and all the die cast that's in this guy. But articulation is a little bit lacking with the waist swivel and having to retransform it, I guess you could say. That's not very much fun. But aside from that, I really don't notice any other articulation that's an issue. I don't really care so much about the waist swivel and the ab crunch a whole lot. I don't do as dynamic of poses as others, but those of you that like the dynamic poses might be a little off put by that. Then again, how many people are just going to turn this into an arm? Is it going to be an arm or a leg? Either one, and just put it on their bot as combined mode. Let me know what you think about this guy. I got mine at ShowZ, and I'll put a link down below where you could get yours. Like and subscribe. Head to your hanger out.